Phil here again from Phil's Place. I just moved the freeze dryer from the kitchen back out to the garage, and when I was doing so I happened to notice lint building up on the other side of this vent panel in the condenser. That is not a good thing. This is like basically almost like a glorified vacuum cleaner, as it has a fan that's pulling air through the condenser unit along with anything else that might be around. Cat fur, dog fur, dust, whatever you want. So what we're going to do, we're going to spin this puppy around, we're going to take off the back, and we're going to clean this thing out. With refrigerated equipment, if the condenser plugs up, you're going to lose efficiency. With your compressor is going to work harder, and it could lead to other types of failures. So we're going to get on this right now. Okay, so we have this thing around, and as you can see around the outside, we have some Allen wrench heads that we're going to be taking out. Once we take those Allen wrench heads, it should expose the back end of this beast. These are going to be 1/8 inch Allen head bolts. I'm going to do this by hand because although I could use some power equipment, they're fine threads and I really do not want to strip them. So we're going to do this by hand and then we'll continue onwards. Okay, so we took all the screws out around the outside area. There's 2 right here you don't need to worry about, and there's 3 holding the power plate into place. Once those are all out, you can take it off. I left one up here just so this thing doesn't come crashing down on me. It is a metal plate. Okay, this is the back end of the freeze dryer, and as you can see, we have all this lint back in there. So the lint's, not only is it inside, it's also over on our condenser unit. So we're going to clean all this up, and this thing will run a lot better, a lot longer. So I want to show you, this is just a sample of some of the lint and garbage that's going to be back on that condenser. If you take an old hairbrush, the fins on the condenser go up and down from 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock. So you can get the hairbrush back between there, and it'll go up and down along those fins to clean those up. If you have a vacuum cleaner, so you can just take your vacuum cleaner and go back and forth along the fins. Now, if you have compressed air, if you have compressed air, the airflow goes from the outside in. If you get compressed air and you blow on this side, you could be blowing the dirt and the lint farther into the condenser coil. So what you want to do is just delicately reach your hand back in here and blow from the inside out. And you can see all the dust coming out. Now, if you don't have compressed air, and if you have a shop vac, you can reverse the hoses on the shop vac. But the least you want to do, you want to clean those fins with a brush. Doesn't have to be a very big brush, just get all that lint out of there. And then you just can go in and just give everything a little bit of a wipe down, just with a damp rag. Now let me just give you a little bit of caution here. Okay, this is a condenser unit right there. And that's the gap. You just want to put the brush down to clean the fins. Now back behind here, you have mainly some copper tubing and copper fittings. When you're putting your hands back in here, just be cautious, be careful. There are some sharp edges. Copper is a soft metal and you don't want to bend or move anything around, but it's fairly easy to get back inside with a vacuum cleaner hose and air hose to blow air from where this motor is on out. Okay, I'm just finishing up tightening these screws. One thing I did notice, the back panel has a tendency to hang down. So you just lift it up with when you put your first two screws in, put these in first, lift up the panel from the back, tighten these, and the holes around the outside will line up a lot better. Now, the computer, the brains of this thing, back in this corner here, and I also noticed inside is a fairly large start capacitor, and those are usually always energized. So if you're going to wipe down the back chamber, don't go any further than your hand. Just kind of stay away from this inside space up inside, because you don't want to get any jolt. You probably would never get a jolt from the capacitor, but it'd be best just to stay away from the electronics of this machine. So once this is all tightened up and finished, I'll spin this around, hook it back up, and I got items in the freezer waiting to be freeze dried. I hope this was helpful. Thank you for watching.